this is the AllState Identity Protection, which works a lot like LifeLock. Basically, when you log in, you're met with your family. If it's more than you can do the family plan. I'll go over that in a minute. Your digital footprint, which is when you connect your email and other things to this application so that it can reach out and actually help you through those avenues. And then on third, on the right, is the identity health. So if you're low risk, at risk, or exposed. So kind of a dashboard, if you will. It's just basically a couple gauges to tell you how you're doing. And then if you click on identity health status, you can dive into the low risk, what it means to have a low risk, and what you can do to protect yourself. So you can activate credit monitoring, you can monitor financial accounts by connecting those accounts to this application, and basically it's going to bring you into the lower areas below that we're going to go through. So let's go down to detection. If you look at detection, you can see credit monitoring, and credit monitoring right now is down, so that's not a good thing. If you look at financial transactions, what you can do is connect your accounts by clicking the Connect Accounts button. So these would be like financial accounts like your bank account or your retirement account, or if you have an IRA somewhere. It's going to come up with the main ones that it wants you to say, oh, these are probably the ones you want. But you can look at anything. You can look up any bank. I just made that one up. It's an actual bank. All right, yeah, so you can look up any bank, and then you select that, and then when you do select it, it's going to allow you to connect your account. It's going to ask you to do the login trust thing. So you basically allow the AllState Identity Protection account to trust your bank or financial account, and that way it can monitor the transactions. Under dark web monitoring, if you're not familiar with dark web, it's like basically hacker forums and things that they think are maybe up to exposing information that you wouldn't normally want exposed. Well, that's where you can go to monitor items for the dark web. You click that button and you give it your email address, and if you have other email addresses such as like a work one or a secondary home one, or somebody in your family has one, or you have a business one, you can put them all in here. Under detection, digital footprint, you can connect your email, and again, when you say reconnect, it's going to log you in to that. Basically, under digital footprint, it's going to allow you to unsubscribe to all these different emails, and it's going to try to kind of control what people have your account information. So anytime you've gone somewhere, you might have had a cookie shared. If you've gone to shop for a car at CarMax and then you headed over to Carvana, they might have shared some information. So now both companies have some information about you. This is going to pick that up, and this is going to try to basically get your information deleted from those source companies. Social media monitoring, so you can basically connect your social media accounts, and you can connect to your LinkedIn or Twitter, which is now X, Facebook, and all the other kinds of accounts. So if you click connect, you can pick which one you want to connect to, log into it, and then it will be connected here for detection. So that's kind of a summary of what detection does. It's basically a big web. It casts a big net out into all your information through accounts that you identify. And then under the second section, which is prevention, you can see there's really interesting tools that you have access to as part of your subscription. The first one's a cybersecurity tool called Bitdefender, and basically what it does is it lets you download the application and then you can run it on your own personal devices, if you will. It's going to launch a new tab and say, which one it's going to install. You can get device security, you can do VPN, or you can do a password manager. And then you just download it and install it, and you can run all those here. For device security, that's like a protection. For VPN, that's a tunnel. I did another video on VPNs and how they work, so I'll link to that below. But it's basically a tunnel between you and some of the endpoints of the internet that protects your data at least part way. And then password managers are becoming very popular, almost ubiquitously contained in a lot of the Office suites you can get today. But basically they're going to manage your passwords for you and store them and tell you if one was hacked at one company and you had shared that password in your other accounts at other companies. So like if your Macy's password and email was the same as your Walmart password and email, and say, for example, that Macy's was hacked and that information was made public, a password manager would be able to tell you, hey, you've got exposed information potentially to a hacker at Walmart, because it's the same username and password that showed up exposed on this other hack. So those are tools you can install. And the second under prevention is Bark, which is really interesting. It's a family digital safety. And again, this is more like a screen time type thing where you put in your child's birthday, and then you kind of create a profile for them, and you keep an eye on their social media, and you look at different things. This is less about financial exposure when it comes to identity theft, and it's more about someone throwing insults at you out on the internet or at your kids. This is going to help you monitor that and help monitor their screen time. So it's more about online health than it is about financial protection, but it is bundled under the identity theft suite. Next under prevention is the robocall blocker, and again, this is another one you can download, and basically it's going to send you a link to your phone number. You can put different phone numbers in there if you've got multiple phone numbers, and you can download the app. The app is Robocall Blocker, and it'll block text, it'll block robocalls, it'll do pretty good amount of call screening for you. So again, that's part of this suite of identity prevention tools. Next on the list is Ad Blocker, and that is something you can launch and install into your browser, and it'll block those ads that appear in the middle of a page. So if you've ever been on a web page and you see an ad that appears in the middle of the page, maybe for a car that you were looking at, and you're like, oh, I didn't even know it knew I was looking for that. It's because it's tracking you across all these cookies. So what you have there is an ad blocker. Will help block those things from showing up and basically help not let your data get as tracked by going out to all these ads. Next prevention tool is probably my favorite out of all of them. It's the security training videos. So they have security training videos that will walk you through all kinds of different security prevention behaviors that you can look for. So it's going to show you how people get tricked. It's going to show you how information gets exposed, and it's not like, oh, well, my information got hacked and I had nothing to do with that, and oh, I'm vulnerable now. No, it's like when you get an email and you click on it and you realize it wasn't really from somebody that you thought it was from. It was spoofed. It's about how people can hijack your SIM card from your phone. Definitely, different things you can do with gift cards to protect them. Lots of different things you can look at. They're all good videos. You can at least get an idea of what the topic is and always search for more information on it. But I think this is the best part of the prevention, is being able to explain all the concepts in one spot. Last one's solicitation reduction, which is something you can do on your own through different avenues, but basically you can do it here by clicking opt out. You can do credit card offers, telemarketing calls. It's the old do not call list, if you remember from when phones used to dial and they were actually analog phones. But it's basically going to allow you to get out of all the direct marketing emails and coupon emails that come to your house if you're getting an abundant amount of them and you don't want that stuff to come to your house. So again, it's going to limit the amount of third parties that have access to your data. And lastly and thirdly, if you ever need it, is the recovery section, where you can get identity restoration. Identity restoration is where you can open a case with AllState Identity Protection and say, hey, something's happened. I'm alarmed. I think something happened, or something actually did happen, and we need to really, start repairing things. And they'll help you repair your identity theft vulnerabilities. So if you had your credit card hacked somehow and somebody bought a bunch of stuff on your credit card, you're going to call a credit card right away. This is another place to go to let them know that it's been hacked, so that you can look at all the other avenues of things that might have been exposed in that process. So again, if you ever need it, it's good to know it's there. It's the identity restoration. And then you can set alerts as to how you want to receive alerts. You can opt in for email or text messages, or you can do sex offender alerts. If somebody in your zip code registers as a sex offender, you can be notified and so you're in the know on that stuff. They have a lot of different hooks into a lot of different systems here. Well, let's look at the price. On the Allstate one, if we compare these, apples per apples, you're going to look at the annual plan. Monthly, if paid annually, is typically how they do their best deals. Allstate has 3 tiers. These are going to be very similar to what you see in LifeLock. The Essential is one standard, and the Premier is that plus fraud protection and more. And then the Blue, which is best for families, has even more. So if you look at the prices there for an individual, you can do as low as $9 a month if you pay the whole year, and family is about double that, a little less than double that. Premier is $16, and the Blue is $15.83. So the Blue is actually less for the first year than the Premier, and that's a pretty much an upsell, if you will, probably one of the best upsells, and then you'll get it renewed at $280 a year versus the one that costs more for the first year but renews at $215 a year, the Premier. So that's what you got to watch out for. But yeah, as you go through them, the Essentials have the standards, the identity monitoring, fraud protection, full service remediation, checks your credit bureau, 1 million expense coverage, stolen funds reimbursement, which is a graduating number as you pay the higher plan. As you go from the Essentials through the Premier to the Blue, you're going to allow yourself stolen funds reimbursement of $50K to $500K to up to $1 million. And then when you get to the lower features here, really what you're getting in the upper 2 tiers is advanced financial fraud is in both of the upper 2 tiers. And then and the top tier, you're getting cybersecurity, family digital safety, and 3 bureau credit monitoring and reports. So the Experian, Trans, I forget the name of them, but there's 3 of them, and they're going to get you all 3 of those, not just one. So if any one of them catches something, you'll find out about it. So those are the tiers in terms of how they work at Allstate. And the thing with Allstate over LifeLock, if you see the LifeLock plan, is the prices are competitive, but you can add up to 10 members with a family plan. The LifeLock one is 2 adults and 5 kids, so that's 7 total. Allstate one is up to 10 members. That's adults and kids combined, 10. So you get 3 additional members on this for a really good price. Again, it doesn't have the title search, and some of the ways that it hooks in with other companies is a little bit, in itself, you're going to other places to opt out, and you're trusting a lot of cross-account linking. Which always makes me concerned. I do hook in my email from time to time and let it do its thing, but then I disconnect it because I don't want it hooked in all the time. I do get a little bit nervous that just having accounts hooked to one another is on its own. To me anyway, it's always been a little bit anxiety provoking, I guess is the right word. I don't enjoy that idea that one account could get into the other account without me present. So I tend to do that a little bit, but I don't, totally dive in and connect every account I have to this. For monitoring, I think it's enough to have the bureaus monitoring and have them monitoring, your biggest accounts or your main accounts. And another thing you can do, just my opinion, but another thing you can do is call your credit card companies and tell them you don't want to have auto increases every year because they always try to give you more credit, and then actually lower your credit. And what I do that is I lower it to a number that in an emergency, if something happened and I had to fly somewhere to see someone in my family, if they were sick or something, I'd have enough money to do that, but not enough money for somebody to charge a car or somebody to charge a $50,000 vacation or something. I don't want that exposure. So you can limit your exposure with the credit companies, with the credit cards you have. None of these tools are going to do that for you. But just give your credit card company a call and say, remove me from the auto increase so that they don't increase your limit every year, and lower my limit to an X number, whatever number you're comfortable with. So if you compare it with LifeLock, again, you can do yourself as an individual, a family plan, which is 2 adults, or an extended family plan, which is 2 adults and up to 5 kids. And under each of them, you're going to see the price shift between the three categories: Standard, Advantage, or Ultimate Plus. So for an adult, monthly, $750 a month if paid annually. For an individual on Standard, Advantage is going to be slightly more, $14.99 a month for the first year if paid annually, and Ultimate Plus, $19.99 if paid annually. See, the prices will go up there as you go to family plan with 2 adults, and then if a family plan with 5 kids, it really doesn't go up that much more if you consider the number of people you can put under it. Now again, under the 3 types, there's the Standard, which is up to $1 million in coverage per adult, and you have all of these coverages with credit monitoring, credit file detection, Social Security alerts, personal expense reimbursements, stolen funds. If you go to the second tier, which is the Advantage, you get that, plus you get the identity lock, the phone takeover monitoring for each adult, alerts on crimes committed in your name for each adult, buy now, pay later alerts. So if you use Affirm or any of the credit delay things, you can use those and get alerts on them. And if somebody else tries to use it in your name, you'll get notified as well. And then you can do the credit scores monthly. And the last tier, the most expensive tier, again, is the Ultimate Plus. And if you go back to the Ultimate Plus, you get those first 2 things, plus a 401k investment account alerts for each adult, home title monitoring, which is on the rise. It's pretty key to have that, and then social media monitoring for each adult. I would think out of all of these, the one that I don't see in the AllState is the home title monitoring. That's the one that appeals to me the most in the premium plan at LifeLock. So that's our review. Hopefully you found it useful. If you liked it, please feel free to share it with somebody else who you might think finds it useful. And thanks again for watching.